Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today we are talking about poop. Why are we talking about poop? Well, I assume if you clicked on this video, you know the backstory here. Game 1, NBA Finals 2008. Paul Pierce goes down with an apparent knee injury, and he appears to be in so much excruciating pain, you would think that somebody brought out a sledgehammer and took it to his knee. He's getting carried off the court for a little bit, and then he gets transferred to a wheelchair. And then he goes into the locker room for like 4 or 5 minutes, like misses like 2 or 3 minutes of like actual game time. I've read a few articles about this. I couldn't necessarily find the exact like real time, like actual like physical time that has passed from him going to the locker room to him coming back. But he comes back out, appears to be fine, has a knee brace on, and then plays like spectacularly for the next, quarter and like a third of the NBA Finals. And then they win that game, I believe. And then the Celtics obviously go on and win the series. And basically, there's this big internet theory that has been going on with like, why did Paul need a wheelchair to get off the court? And the theory is that Paul Pierce pooped his pants. So that they put him in the wheelchair because if he would walk off the court or limp off the court, let's say, and he did poop his pants, he was wearing those Celtics white jerseys. And the idea was that like he would probably have some sort of a skid mark. Now there is like some like videos out there that are kind of like analyzing it, because this is probably the dumbest story that I'll ever cover on this show. But there is some pictures that go out where they can see him where they're carrying him, and there's no signs of like skid marks or anything. But the real reason we're talking about this is because Paul Pierce has talked about this multiple times on the record, which is kind of odd. So he addressed this most recently on the All the Smoke podcast, the Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson podcast. So we'll go ahead, play this clip, and then I have another clip where Paul basically admits that he did it, and which is referenced in this clip that I'm about to show you. And then I'll show you a third clip where he talks about it again on another player's podcast. So we'll go ahead, play this clip, and then after we play this clip, I'll give you my theory on it, on what actually happened. So we'll go ahead, play this, and then I'll give you my theory.
So we get to the back. The doctor's like, all right, jump on the training table. Now I'm on the training table. He's like, move it back and forth, side to side. I'm feeling some discomfort in it. Then I stand up. I'm like, hold up. I stand up. I put pressure on the knee. I get on my tippy toes. I jog in place. It's still sore, but my adrenaline is flowing. I'm telling you, my adrenaline is flowing. Ain't no way I want to miss. If I wasn't limping, I was like, I can do it. So I said, hey, go get me a knee brace. I'm jumping up and down. I'm jumping. I'm doing some squats. I'm like, all right, I can deal with the pain. By the way, I have a high threshold for pain, by the way. I was stabbed 11 times and came back the same season and played all 82 games. A high threshold for pain. So yes, it was painful and I was not faking an injury. So when they get the knee brace, I'm like, all right, I'm cool. Let alone only like a minute or two went off in the game. So if I had to go to the bathroom or shit on myself, you think it would only take 2 minutes? Come on now.
2 minutes of game time, by the way. It's not 2 minutes of like real time passed. It was 2 minutes of game time. So, and if you guys watch basketball games, that 2 minutes can be, in today's game, sometimes can be like 15 minutes.
Come on now, let's be for real. It takes 2 minutes for me to change my shorts, my undershorts, wipe my ass, get a wet towel, dry off, shower, put some new stuff on, and go back out there. I literally came out in 2 minutes of game time. So I put the knee brace on. I'm like, all right, it's a little painful. So we just setting that record straight right there. And if I did poop my pants, why would I sit in a wheelchair? All you little new generation social media gurus who Photoshop the stain in my pants on Twitter, all you social media wannabes who try to spread wildfire, don't know what the hell you talking about. Because I know a lot of y'all just mad that I busted the Lakers' ass that year, pretty much. So I know that's where it come from. When I'm not your favorite player and you rooting for your favorite player and the villain wins. But that's all right. I'll continue to be the villain. That's how it is, period. So just to set the record straight, at the end of the series, I dealt with a meniscus strain that whole summer. It was sore. I couldn't even work out for the first, didn't get surgery. But no, whoever started that rumor, I said in the NBA Finals coverage, I had to go to the bathroom. I have a confession to make. Whoa, I just had to go to a bathroom.
Number one or
I had to go to the bathroom.
But why did you need a wheelchair to get to the bathroom?
It was that bad.
Something went down. I had to do it.
You were streaking?
Come on, man. I'm joking with y'all. I'm joking. It's the finals. You think I don't want to be on the court? It's the finals. We're trying to win a championship, and you think think I got time to do some fake shit walking off the court? Come on, man. Come on, let's be real.
All right, I think I misspoke there too at the beginning. That wasn't the All the Smoke podcast. It's a company that produces. It's the same production company. So I think that's Paul Pierce's show. To the point of like I brought up the real time there to kind of debunk that because it was probably closer to like 7 to 10 minutes rather than 2. And 2, it's like I don't know what kind of bathrooms that they have, but my theory on this guy is because you can tell when like they carry him off and you like there's no skid mark. I think that's been debunked. But my theory on this is I'm kind of taking a little bit of a different route with it here too, where I think it was a shart. I think he sharted himself. And if you guys kind of know those, I'm not going to describe those because this is going to be the dumbest, grossest episode I've ever done before. But if you know those, sometimes it's kind of like you're kind of like, how much was that? What is it? I don't know. And maybe it was something like that. And 2, he's like, well, why get on a wheelchair, and sit in it and mush it all around? It's like, well, dude, the reason is because if you walked out, we would see the skid mark. That's why. That's the internet rumor. So Paul Pierce keeps talking about this, but my theory is that it was a shart, and then maybe he had to change his underwear, maybe he didn't. I don't know, but it was probably a little bit of an easier cleanup. So that's maybe why it wasn't like a 20-minute outage there. So I will go ahead and play that full clip of Paul that it showed like 5 seconds of it there in that previous video, but it's a full admission from Paul Pierce on NBA the finals coverage, I think in 2019 when he was still working for ESPN. And we'll go ahead and play this video now, and then I have one more clip that I'm going to show you.
Jalen Rose, they avoid drama at all costs. Paul here, 11 years ago today, wheelchaired off the floor for reasons he will keep to himself.
I have a confession to make. Whoa. I just had to go to a bathroom.
Number one or
Go to the
2?
bathroom.
But why did you need a wheelchair to get to the bathroom?
It was that.
Something went down. I had to go to the bathroom.
You were streaking?
Okay. Anywho,
Dude,
injury
That's it.
story, by the way. For your series, we're going to go to the court right now.
Okay, so there is that video of Paul Pierce. You could say he was admitting it. Maybe he was joking around there. Maybe he lost a bet. But it is kind of weird because from my research on this, guys, that was like the first time he ever addressed it. He ever addressed like that theory. And then later that day, or it was the next day, I believe. It was either later that night or it was the next day. Paul Pierce went on to Twitter and said, hey, I wasn't being serious there. The only thing I was pooping on that night in that series was the Lakers. So believe what you want to believe, but this is I'll show you guys this other clip because I saw this one a few years ago. I can't remember if it was from last year or it was 2 years ago, but it's Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. And there's another thing where I think it was Jaylen that asked Paul about this incident and just kind of like pay attention to where is it? Yeah, pay attention to just Kevin Garnett this whole video because Kevin Garnett's like as Paul Pierce kind of does that same a little bit. It's a little bit different defense from that first video, but it's pretty similar. And just kind of look at Kevin Garnett and just kind of read his face and let me know what you think if he thinks Paul Pierce is telling the truth or not about denying this poop game.
I want to know what happened when it was the playoffs and you had to get in the wheelchair. You had to cut.
That's MCL.
It was your
It
MCL.
was my MCL. Yeah. I don't believe all them rumors. I had to go to the bathroom.
What rumors?
You was there. What happened there?
I don't know. I'm asking what rumors you talking about.
Everybody talking about I had to take a shit. Get the fuck out of here.
You sprained your MCL?
Yeah, I
P?
turned my MCL, dog.
Sprained
You
his
act like you
MCL.
can't play on the MCL. You never did that?
What were you
I
talking about?
told it. Everybody know this, but so everybody make their own narrative. So I sprained my MCL. What you think I'm holding my knee for? What I'm holding my knee for? Come on, dog. You gonna make me put hands up in a minute, dog.
Oh,
gotta stop.
man. Hey, man, we go right in the bathroom and get some town business right quick. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, JT. What you about to ask, man? You about to say something?
My MC,
man. All right, man.
And the doctor said, no. I said, my knee said, don't put no weight on it.
Right.
Like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stand up. He like, don't put no weight on it. So then they carried me.
That was
Then
the
they brought
finals,
out
right?
Yeah. I didn't ask for that. I just say, go get the wheelchair. Like, you think, come on, dog.
Let's clear that up.
You know, I'm trying to clear that up. I didn't like, man, come on. And so the moment I stood up, I was like, man, let me see how this feels. All right, it's cool. Back out there. They didn't let me put no weight on it. So when I put the weight on it, I knew I was cool. Right? Good, because it felt kind of loose. It was kind of loose. Like, you know, how if you double jointed, you can pop it in. It felt kind of loose in the middle, right here. Oh, why are you looking at me like
I'm
that?
listening to the story. Are we listening to the story? We listen to
but you know how you
say your shit was double jointed.
Somebody looking at you like this while you saying something. They like, come on, dog. Come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey,
so I put the knee brace on.
This is classic. This is y'all.
Love
this
it.
is every day.
Nah, this how we always been.
Straight up.
Okay, so there's that video. That one was kind of funny too, especially with KG kind of messing around with Paul there. But here's kind of my reaction to that video. You know, sometimes whether it's maybe you lie or people lie, they will add in just all of these kind of like random details that we don't really need. And that's, you could make the case that's kind of what Paul was doing there. And they you know, overtell the story to a degree to try and sell it. And that's a way, it's kind of a key tell of someone that's lying about a story, where Paul Pierce here, you saw there, he's like getting up, he's like jumping up and down to kind of show you like what his knee was feeling and what he was doing in that moment, which was like just completely unnecessary. And then he's talking about, it's like, oh, I thought it was loose, and then it's like I was double jointed there, and that's where Kevin Garnett was like, dude, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Now, maybe KG was kind of hamming it up a little bit there, because this is, you know, the reason we're talking about this is one of the stupidest conspiracy theories that there is out there, especially with the NBA. And I think it's hilarious. I said it earlier. I think it was a shart. I don't think it was a full dookie. I don't think it was a full, you know, grumper. Nothing that required too much cleanup, but definitely something where maybe he was a little bit afraid of like, oh crap, maybe something's going on here. And here's the thing with Paul Pierce. He can go out, he can deny it all he wants, but I definitely think something happened there. And kind of like what we said after the last video too, where I think maybe he admitted it on live TV there in the NBA finals, and he kind of rethought about it, and then he was like, I don't know. I actually, you know, I want to actually go back on the defense of like, why did I say that on live TV? Why did I say that? I want to go back and I want to rewrite the narrative and say I didn't, because he's probably like, oh, you know, the internet's stupid. This is what people are probably just going to think about for my career, which people probably remember more about that, which in a way he would be right, because people probably think more about this game than, you know, him winning finals MVP that year. And, you know, if I made a finals MVP, I'll be JJ Redick here for a minute. If I made a finals MVP video about Paul Pierce and how great he was in that series, and, you know, even broke down some specific games, I probably wouldn't get that many views, but I have no idea what views I'll get on this one. Maybe I'll get a lot, maybe I won't get any, but I don't know. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode here today. This was by far the stupidest episode, the grossest episode I've ever done. But if you liked it, please hit that subscribe button. If you, again, hit that like button too, maybe explore the rest of the Sports Detective podcast channel feed. Maybe, you know, check out some other videos. We talk NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, a little bit of NFL, some sports media stuff every once in a while. So thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you next time.